live today in the group. Anybody that doesn't recognize me or recognize my face or my name, I'm part of Breaking the Chains. It's mine and my sister-in-law's group that we have. Um, Basically, we do fundraisers and charity events for Restoring Hope in Women. It's a recovery program that's on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. That's where we are from. I currently live in Texas, but I am from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and that's where we hold our events. Um, Basically, we have vendors come out, and we do them twice a year, once in the spring, once in the summer, and we raise money, and everything that we raise goes directly to the Restoring Hope in Women. So that's a little background on who we are and what we're about and what we do. Um, we also sell T-shirts. They're Breaking the Chains T-shirts. The money that comes from that also goes to Restoring Hope in Women. On the front, it says Breaking the Chains. It shows chains being broken, and then on the back, it has in love and memory of my mother. Um, you can change the name. Like if you lost somebody close to you and you wanna represent them or remember them on the back of your shirt, you can change the name, or you can take it off completely. It's up to you. Um, I'll tag Jewel in the video later on, and she'll put the link in there or let you know how to order if you want to order one. Um, Also, other than the events, we do live videos, and we generally cover the Just for Today. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but we do Just for Today, and we'll do it for the day that we're on. Um, if it's a topic I don't really like, we might skip over it and do a different day. Just depends. Sometimes we just freestyle. It just kind of depends on what we're doing, but generally speaking, we come into groups or we go on our personal pages and we do the Just for Today. We also have a Breaking the Chains Facebook group of our own. If you want to go request to join, we will approve you. Like I always say in my videos too, if you're struggling, if you need something, you can feel free to request me on my personal page as well as Jewel, and we will add you. If you ever need anything, you can inbox us. As long as it's not financial, we will do our best to help you. Um, Good morning, Carrie. Hello, Destiny. So basically, today's Just for Today. I don't read the whole thing like Jewel does. Jewel usually has the book and she'll sit there and read the whole. I'm not doing all that. I usually just look at the topic and then freestyle off of it. So today the topic is the power of the group. And I don't know how many of you guys have been paying attention to my videos the past couple of days, or our videos the past couple of days, but this is kind of directly, it almost feels like it's going in a flow, because we've kind of been talking about the power of the community for like the last like maybe two or three lives. I talked about the other day when I got on here, I think it was 2 days ago, maybe. Um, we did a topic, and I talked about self-awareness. Be aware of yourself. And the reason I talked about it, I brought it up from a two sides. I brought it up in the fact that, you know, because the actual topic was about reaching out, being vulnerable, allow ourselves to be vulnerable, and reach out when we need something. Don't hold our feelings inside. Release them out to somebody. And because when you hang on to shit, it can become, you can turn it into a monster, and it might be something so small that if you just talked it out with somebody, you might feel better afterwards. But you got to make sure it's somebody that you can trust, somebody that's not gonna go behind you and spread all your shit. You got to make sure it's somebody that you've known for a while, somebody that you really trust, um, or maybe even share it at the meeting. I guess they're pretty good about being anonymous. I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Um, and then I talked about the flip side of being vulnerable, see? Because, like, you know how I'm saying, tell somebody you trust? The reason I'm saying that is because in these groups, I see a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of shit where somebody's reaching out, they're struggling, they're going through a hard time, and you open up the comments, and it's a whole bunch of people, giving them a hard time and bashing them and questioning them and, questioning what their motive is of sharing this shit. And I'm just like, it blows my mind sometimes. It really doesn't. Nothing surprises me. But that's kind of why I've been on this topic, because you need to be mindful. How many times have you been uh, fucking up, and but you're putting on a mask and pretending that you're doing good, and you're trying your best to keep it together. And you might be one of them people that's on the fence. And somebody could say the right thing to you and push you to the right side of the fence. You know what I'm saying? But somebody could say the wrong thing to you or give you a hard time or, accuse you of things and push you on the wrong side of the fence. You feel what I'm saying? So when you're commenting in these groups, be mindful of the shit you're saying to people. If you don't have nothing positive to say, or you don't have any good criticism, because you can be critical of somebody and come from a good place and go about it the right way. But you can also come from a negative place and do more damage than you're doing good. If you don't come in it with the right intentions of helping somebody, um, then you should probably stay out of it, because on social media we have the power to just, you know, flip up with our thumb, right? We don't have to we don't have to feed it. We don't have to comment. We don't have to say anything. But, when you're sitting behind the screen, it's so easy to just type posts and don't even think. You're being impulsive. It's so easy to be, just impulsive and just type without recourse or not even think about what you're saying. And I use the specific topic because I mean, I don't care. I don't care, I'm not worried about who I piss off, because sometimes you need to look at yourself in the mirror. You think you're coming from a right place and you're doing more damage than good. And I'm not saying you got to baby people, not at all. But here's the thing: if you're unsure, which you always are, because you're not with that person, right? You didn't see that person shoot up. You don't know if that person's real. You don't know what that person's doing, and they could really be for real. They could really be on the up and up, just having a hard time, and you get in the comments and you're questioning them, and you know, telling them that they're fake and they're trying to trigger people and they shouldn't do this and they shouldn't do that. And it's like, who the fuck are you? Who elected you the king of the recovery mountain? You know what I mean? Or the queen of the recovery mountain? Um, you can easily just scroll past that shit. You know what I mean? You don't have to comment. And I just think we need to try to be mindful about the things we say and the things we do, because in my opinion, I want to try to help save people's lives. I don't want to help push nobody off a bridge. And it costs you nothing to say something kind to somebody, or even if, you know what I'm saying? It says more to me if they're still struggling or they're fucking up or they're coming in the group trying to trigger people. That's their character. They're revealing it already. But it says more about your character on how you react. So just be mindful of the things that you say, the things that you type, the way you comment, the way you interact with people, and try to remember what you're in this group for. And try to remember that um, you're no better than the person next to you. You're no better than um, the guy who relapsed or the girl who relapsed. You're no better than the person who's still out there and can't get clean or sober, because we're all just a bad choice away from being in that same exact situation. And I think we need to keep that in mind. Um, we need to check our egos at the door, because that's a lot of it too. And we just need to be careful about the things we say and the things we do. And like I'm saying, you don't got to baby somebody, but it's the way you go about it. Like for an example, if you see something in the comment or somebody make a post that's really troubling to you, you can talk it out with the admin. You can go to the person and inbox them where it's private, where you're not trying to air them out in front of the whole world. You know what I'm saying? You can be private about it. You can inbox them and keep it private. You don't have to bash them in front of the whole group. You know what I mean? I see a lot of shit in these groups where I think to my head like you know what I mean? But I don't say nothing because it's not my place. It's not my place to prosecute this person or tell them that what they're doing is wrong unless they ask me. If you come to me and you ask me, hey, I'm going through this and I'm doing this and what do you think? I'll tell you the truth because you asked for it. But I'm not just gonna blast you in a recovery group, because it's, to me, it's counterproductive, and it sets a bad precedent for any newcomers that are coming in that might see that and run, because they're like, fuck, that's worse than the meetings. I thought the meetings were bad. This shit's even worse. So just try to think about it. Um, Hello, Kristen. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Philip. Hello, Jennifer again. Philip, what are you struggling with? Like I said, if it's private, if you don't want to say nothing on here, you can inbox me, and it will not leave our messages. Let's see what else. Carrie, you got bad Wi-Fi, or is it my shit? So just, be mindful. And it talks about the power of the group, but here's the thing about the power of the group, and it's exactly what I've been saying, and it's exactly what I talked about the other day. The power of the group can work both ways. It can be good power, where we're uplifting and we're building our community, and we're leaning on each other, or it can be bad power, where we're setting a bad example and we're dragging people down. You know what I'm saying? And think about it like this. If you're really into your recovery, and you're really thinking, and you're really putting some thought into it, think about it like this. What's up, Brandy? Um, think about it like, if this person is on Facebook and they're in a recovery group, and the things they're saying don't add up, or they seem high to you, or they seem, uh, not in the right state of mind. Think about it like this. They need it more than anybody. They need help more than anybody. So why the fuck are you going to get in the comments and make it worse for them? You understand? Why are you going to make it worse? I'm doing pretty good. You're just coming in, make sure you catch the replay. Um, I think you were on here last time. I'm kind of talking about the same topic. That just for today is the power of the group. And I'm talking about how the power of the group can work two ways. It can help build the community, and we can all lean on one another and help each other, and work together and save lives and get people clean and help people stay clean. Or we can, you know, not be mindful of what we're saying, and not be self-aware, and hurt people and bring people down and scare people away. Um, you were on when I kind of talked about the same topic, but that's what the book says today. So that's what I'm doing. It must have to get said again, I guess. I don't know. Kind of talking about it in a different way. Um, and it also talks about, like, the power of the group. Like, your power can be God, your power can be your meetings, your power can be whatever, wherever you get your power from. Yeah, I've been on a kick about it lately too. It's because um, it just really bothers me when I see people in a group, and they're reaching out, or they're doing a video, whether they be high or sober or clean. It's not my business. But people just, I don't know, man. People just start attacking them in the group, and it's messy, man. That's not what this shit's about. And it's funny to me, because if I was the admin, which I'm not, but because I have my own group, and I don't tolerate none of that shit. So if you come in my group and you act like that, you will get kicked the fuck out. Just know that. Um, but it is open to everybody. But if you come in and you carry yourself that way, and you do shit like that, I'm gonna put you out the group. I'm just letting you know. But if I was the admin and somebody was coming to me, and they were like, I think this guy's high in his live video and it's really bothering me, I would probably talk to that person and say, why is it bothering you? What about it bothers you? What's a trigger for me? Okay, can't you just not watch? Let's identify why you're watching. What's wrong with your character and your character flaws and your character defects that's making you sit there and watch the video and critically analyze this guy, when you could easily just say, that don't look right, and keep scrolling, or turn your fucking phone off. And they will probably say, I don't know. You know what I mean? Or they have an excuse. But in my opinion, the answer is, you've carried over that lust for drama with you. You like the drama. You want to get in the video. You want to get in the comments and go back and forth. You know what I mean? Because it feeds that drama. It gives you a rush. Like you caught the bad guy or something. And it's like, no, you're the bad guy because this person probably needs it the most. If they're in the video high, they need it the most. The group's called Breaking the Chains. And it was funny because I just made a video about this about a completely different post. It was a completely different post. And I kept saying in the group, I'm like, please be mindful about what you're saying. And then one day later, I'm seeing it again with somebody else. And it's just, yeah, it's a lot of junk that gets posted in these groups. And you got to keep in mind, man, that it's over 55,000 members in this group. So what do you want the admin to do? I'm sure he don't get paid for this shit, because I know I don't get paid for my group. He can only do so much. And who is he to turn somebody away, whether they got on here high or not? It's counterproductive. How many of y'all have been to rehab? How many of y'all showed up to rehab the first day high as a kite or drunk as shit? Did they turn you away? Think about it. You know what I mean? Just think about it. And use the power of this group. And if you don't like it, go somewhere else. You know, before social media, people were still getting clean. People were still getting sober. And it's not just, this type of behavior isn't just in recovery groups. This type of behavior is the climate of the world we live in general. Everybody's so hurt. Everybody's so offended. Everybody's a victim. Everybody wants to be a martyr. When you can just simply use your group and use the groups that you're in to fuel your recovery, to strengthen your recovery. But it only works if you're picky and you're choosy about what you want to react to, who you want to respond to. So like I said before, be mindful. Don't be so quick to type and post. I've done it. You know how many times I've done it? How I've typed up this big long post or this big long comment and then just deleted it and got out of Facebook because I was thinking about it. I was like, fuck it. It ain't worth my time, I save my breath, save my energy. The fuck I want to argue for? I'm 30 years old. I ain't got time for that shit. I don't have time for the back and forth. And like I said, I think it's more of an indictment on your character than it is the person who is in the group doing those type of things. I think it's a bigger indictment on your character. Because let's say if that person is high in a video or that person is trying to trigger people, they're already revealing their character, right? It's obvious. They're throwing it right in your face about who they are. But then when you come in and you say something, it's saying more about you, not them, because they've already revealed themselves. When you can just ignore it. Or just simply get in the comment and say, hey, if you're struggling, if you need anything, let me know. And leave it at that. You don't got to be detailed. You can just make it simple. Keep it simple. Yeah, Brandy, go ahead and message me. I'll get to you as soon as I get off here. I'm not going to be on here much longer. I got to work out. I got 2 little girls at home, so But yeah, you can go ahead and message me. I seen a couple of your posts on Facebook lately. But yeah, you can go ahead. Just send me an inbox and I'll respond to you as soon as I get off here, or within like the next 20 minutes or something. Yeah, Ambi, if you get triggered, scroll on. It's that simple. I talk about this shit all the time, like feeding positive energy. And if I had a guess, if I had an opinion, I would say that that's a character defect that they've brought over with them in the recovery. The need for drama. It catches a lot of addicts and alcoholics when they get clean and sober. I've never been in a sober living house, but damn, my mom's been in them, and the drama that goes on in them motherfucking places is just through the roof. Yeah, Brandy, exactly. Like, why are we like? I don't understand. Like, why are we? We're all the same. Why the fuck are we judging somebody, man? Like when a girl posts a sober selfie and motherfuckers act like she's fishing, or you know what I mean? She's confident for the first time in a long time, dummy. Let her be confident. Leave her the fuck alone. Like the fucking picture and move on. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody's just wants to be so critical of everybody else and what they're doing. And they're not worrying about what they're doing. Because if you got time to worry about everybody else's shit, your shit pile's probably growing. And you ain't even noticing it because you're too busy worrying about what this person's doing and what that person's doing. Yeah, Jade, you got it. Law of attraction. Bingo. You get what you seek out. You are your thoughts, you are your words. So be mindful of them. Talk about it all the time in these videos because it's real. It's not made up. You're in what, Mark? A sober living house? Yeah, they work for a lot of people. If they get the vibes right. I want to open my own. That's what I'm working towards right now. So I'm not bashing them. I'm just saying a lot of them are like revolving doors because you get so many people in that you don't know who's in there for court, who's in there because they really want it. Um, how many people in there just got clean and ain't really started working the program or working on themselves? It's a struggle at first. You got to get the chemistry clicking with everybody in the house. You ain't just dealing with one personality. And a lot of people that are addicts and alcoholics carry that same behavior over with them. I think they're great. I tell people all the time to the person that I do the lives with, Jewel, she did it by the book. She went to rehab, went to sober living, been clean for 9 years. You know what I'm saying? They work. I'm not bashing them. I'm just saying that it's when you go into anything, and this is how I'm going to say it. When you go into anything, remember what you're there for. Remember who you're there for, because you have choices. You can you can be in a recovery group and you can be there and be all about positivity, all about uplifting people, or you can go in there and want to play True Detective and want to figure out who the fuck is fucking up and who's not, and play fucking CSI Miami in the group. And you have the choice of how you want to do it. Just like when you go into a sober living house, you can walk into a sober living house and remember, I'm here for me. I need this for me. I'm not worrying about what Billy's doing. I'm not worrying about what Charles is doing. I'm not worrying about what none of these other motherfuckers in here are doing. I'm worried about what I'm doing. And if you carry that and you stay positive, you could become contagious, and the people around you could start to pick up on that. You know what I mean? And it can spread. Just like you can walk into a sober living house and be all about the drama and who's fucking who and who's doing what and who's doing this and who's doing that and what this person's doing and how they miss curfew and all this other shit. And that can become contagious, and you can create a tornado inside the house. And nobody's going to get recovery. So that's all I'm saying is be mindful. It's all about you, the impact that you want to have, what you want to get out of it. Yeah, Jade, you can make a lot of connections. But the group has to try to function as one, you know. But in the beginning, you got to go in there and be all about you. I used to tell my mom that she'd always go to different recovery houses, and when she first got in there, she'd be all about recovery. But about 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, oh, this one's doing that. This bitch is doing this. Like, mom, you're not in there for them. You're in there for yourself. Fuck them. You're in there for you. Worry about you. Because if you're focused on their shit, your shit's going unmaintenanced. You're not maintaining none of your bullshit because you're too busy worrying about their bullshit. You know what I mean? Just be mindful. It's like my motto for the week, I guess. Be self-aware and be mindful of the things you say, the things you think, the things you do, and who you're being in any situation. I saw somebody put trigger warning when they smoke in their videos, smoke cigarettes or smoke nicotine. So if that bothers you, I apologize, but I'm not gonna not do it. So I never even like dawned on me that that might bother somebody. Um, Gotta have something, caffeine and nicotine, and the gym and my family, and that's what keeps me on the right track. I think a recovery house is great, Melissa, honestly. But you got to go in there with the right state of mind that you want to succeed, about what you want to get out of it. Like Jay said, law of attraction. You get what you're looking for. You know, I remember back in the day when I was drinking and shit, and I remember, you know, bill we'd be short on a bill or something, and it would create a bunch of chaos. I'd start fighting with my wife and drinking more and throwing fits and breaking shit and arguing, and it's like the money problems just started getting worse. All of a sudden, my car went up. I had to put my car in the shop. My hours get cut at work because I'm feeding that fucking energy. Then flash forward later on in life, you know, we get a bill or something that's unexpected. You know, me and my wife sit down, we talk about it. We're like, don't worry, we'll get this. We'll make it happen. And money just starts to appear. It's magic. It gets paid. It gets taken care of. We handle it. We work together. And it's the same thing with your recovery. You can go in there and carry the wrong attitude, or you can go in there with the right attitude and practice working on you, and watch how good your recovery is. Melissa, you get what you give. You're gonna get what you want to get out of it. I guess the old cliche, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. You don't have to associate with people and be buddy buddy just because, it's like I tell people all the time, just because I work with you don't mean we got to be friends. We can just be civilized and work together to get this task done. And that gives you a feel out phase where you can feel a person out because you told them, hey, it's strictly business. We got work to do while we're in here. And then those relationships will blossom naturally. You don't have to force them. You don't have to go in there and automatically become friends with everybody in the house just because you're in there. You just have to be civilized, and you have to let everybody know from the gate, hey, we need to work together. We all need to be on the same page. And just leave it at that. And the ones that ain't there for the right reasons, they'll weed themselves out and they'll be gone. They won't last. So you don't have to worry about it. It'll work itself out. Yeah, Jay, my wife got me into that shit. She read that book, The Secret, and she talked about law of attraction. And I'm one of those like logical. I don't know. I'm one of them type of stubborn guys who, can have a bit of an ego sometimes and be skeptical of everything that doesn't make sense in my head. But once I started like listening to her, and once I started, digging into it, my life changed. So you're on point with that. Don't be skeptic. That's relatable too. You see somebody post something, don't be skeptic. Give them the benefit of the doubt. You don't know them. Yeah, Maureen, you're right. It's not always the answer. I always say you can't run from yourself. You'll be anywhere you go. And like Jade and I are saying, you get what you give. You get what you put into it. The energy you put out is the energy you'll get back. And as you move, as you go through things, it's not just about you're going to get back that good energy, because you might not. But because you've been training yourself, and you've been training your mind and training your brain and changing your perspective on life, you can change how you react. You don't have to react. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Michigan. Like I said, I'm from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and I just moved to Texas not that long ago, so I'm not sure. Google's a hell of a thing. Get on Google. Search up recovery houses or halfway houses in your area, and I'm sure you'll find something. I mean, I can try to look for you if you want, but I'll probably just get on Google because I don't, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not familiar with the area. Celebrated 10 years after a 20-year run. Wouldn't change it for the world. Congratulations on your decade. 10 more to go, or 11 more to go, and you've been clean more than you used. It's pretty impressive. Um, Me personally, I'll be coming up on 4 months. I did have, I had 20 months coming up on getting close to my 2 years. Relapsed. Woke up the next day. Talked to a couple people. Um, kind of confessed, and they helped me identify what the problem was. And I did a live video and admitted to my followers, like, hey, this is what happened. Ain't no point in being phony or lying or being fake. Um, and it's business as usual. I had to learn that, you know, doing it for my kids is great, but I gotta eventually want it for myself or it won't work. And that's something everybody needs to know. You set yourself up for a trap. Doing it for a loved one can only get you so far. Good. I'm glad I could help you, Brandy. If you still have any issues or you still need something, we're friends on Facebook. You can hit me up. I'll try to help you the best I can. So just remember, like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm gonna wrap this up so I can get my shit done for the day. But be mindful, be self-aware, and think twice before you say something. All right. It's not your job to worry about anybody else's recovery but yours. It's not your job to play probation or play the court system or play the police and act like you need to figure out what's going on with somebody. It's not your job. Let it go. Ignore it. If it bothers you that fucking much, contact the admin. But I would like to think they're probably going to tell you the same thing. I'll talk to that person and you can just, ignore it. You know what I mean? That's just is what it is. Yeah, Marine. I always tell people, man, when they hit me up and they're like, 30 days in or 60 days in, I'm really struggling. I'm like, you got to get over that 90-day hump. Then you got to get over that 6-month hump. Then you got to get over that year. And then I feel like once you hit that year, you can really get some good shit accomplished. You can really start to move in your recovery. To me, those are my 3 milestones. Um, for 15 years, I can never stay sober longer than 2 weeks. So I mean, it took me a long time. The longest time I ever had sober was when I was in jail. So when I wasn't, I could only last for a couple weeks. Then one time I got 9 months. I fucked up after that and went on a pretty good run after that. I didn't do what I did this time and just brush myself off and get back to it. Um, I stayed out for a little bit, and then um, it was about time for my daughter to be born, and I was like, I got to get this shit together. I got to be a good role model. I can't let her see the shit that I had to see. It's like whatever. So I got sober, stayed sober for 20 months. Her and my wife went to go see some family, and then I fucked up again. And it made me realize, like, hey, they're not always going to be here every second, every moment. You got to want it for you. You can't just want it for everybody else. And that's some of that secret and law of attraction and self-speech and love yourself. You know what I'm saying? Your life has value too. Yeah, Marine, I say all the time, a lot of people, we lose a lot of good people to drugs and alcohol. A lot of good athletes, a lot of good natural born leaders, a lot of strong people, a lot of good workers, a lot of good parents. So if they can get clean and they can get sober and we can help get them back to the real world, it's a lot we can accomplish together. I always say the ball's in our court. The alcohol companies, um, you know, pharmaceutical industry, drug dealers, none of that shit would be relevant if we weren't here. So we can't worry about that shit. We got to worry about the ground first. You know what I mean? We got to worry about getting ourselves clean and getting everybody around us clean and getting everybody sober, and that's how you combat it. We can blame anybody we want, but it's not going to solve the problem. Solving the problem is by getting clean and sober and having that ripple effect or that domino effect, spreading your message and helping somebody else get clean and sober. Yeah, it's sad. It really bothers me, that's why that was my wake up call when my daughter was about to be here, because I grew up around that shit, so I know how it makes me feel. I know what it made me feel like when I was growing up. And I was like, I'll be damned if she's gonna have to go through that. And that's what we gotta think. If that's your fuel, if that's your lighter fluid, let it be that. But eventually you gotta shift your recovery into I'm doing this for me now. You know what I mean? And I didn't do that. I wasn't doing the maintenance. I wasn't being self aware. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna get off here, get my stuff done. It was nice chatting with y'all. Like I said, if anybody needs anything, request me on my personal page and inbox me. I will help you as long as it's not monetary. And y'all have a good day.